This is an introverted moon sign. This is Taurus moon. So I'm a Taurus sun, right? So people already see me as a more, you know, earthy, grounded, natural, handsome, more together kind of guy, just because of my, hue, my sun sign. They feel like they can come to me, talk to me. They feel like I'm a guy who is more loving. But, I always tell people, you got to know where you stand with me, as that comes with this type of energy too. I don't want to be around you. I ain't going to be around you. It's no different for somebody like this. But especially when they're emotional and shit, they could distance themselves from people. Be like, stay the fuck away from me. I don't want to be around you. You are going to fuck with me in a way that, because I don't want to be like that around you. I want to be the one who attacks you and shit. Stay the fuck away from me. I want to be to myself right now. I want to get to know myself a little better. I want to just be me. Who the fuck am I? You know, when I'm not with everybody else. Some people can do this and get away from people and then go back and be who they are and all that extra stuff. But some people have it hard because they're too caught up in the spotlight and they can't. They seem to not be able to or whatever. So they always are like, I do love myself and I do, want to get the fuck away from people and have my own time to myself. But it's like sometimes they can't, and they might get out of sorts. They might close themselves off, is what I'm saying. So they can get away. So basically, if they're like somebody who's in the shit, they're like always with people. They're like, maybe they're the ones talking all the time or like being the center of attention. You know, they don't want to do that shit because they just don't feel good right now. They don't need to be around that shit. They want to be more isolated to themselves. They want to show themselves love. You know. And sometimes to do that, you have to distance yourself. So they'll do that, but they'll like kind of just not be themselves. And people will be like, why ain't you talking right now? You're usually a person who likes to talk to people, so and so. Why aren't you getting loud about this and this? I thought we were going out and gonna make a show of shit. You were just now sitting down and not saying shit. And then this person might be like, well, I want to be alone right now. I don't feel good today. They'll say shit like that, just so they can, decompress and be alone. Maybe you actually, sometimes they were, you get them in their feelings and they'll be like, you weren't heeding calls to what I need, my, wants, my needs. Not necessarily, sexual either, but like the sensual stuff. You weren't taking shit slow enough. You're trying to, move too fast and all this other shit. I don't need that right now. I need to, take shit slow. I need you to be here for me. I need you to, actually listen to what I have to say and don't dismiss it as whatever. I am also a person, this person is also like me. And only when they get like this, and only for certain people, they don't always like people around them. They can be a good listening ear too, for people, because they see what's going on actually and shit when they get emotional. They might be a person who's more, fun, more, knows how to, get you in your emotions or know how to, make things funner for people, when they're not like this. But when they're emotional, they're more real and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to get my life right. I have to, do this, do that, have to, they start to look at their life for what it is in the moment, too, when they get emotional. They're like, oh, fuck, sometimes they need that, though, too. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they, like, fuck up a good time by, like, being in their feelings like that. So, like, they could be having fun, but then all of a sudden they're just like, damn, what the fuck am I doing here, And they, like, might have been having fun, but then they just do that, and they don't zone out. It's like they zone in. So, like, they focus in on what's actually going on more. But in doing that, that could kill the like fun or whatever kind of experience they were having before that. So then they're like, damn, because reality can like hit you like that, and you'll be like, God damn, this shit sucks. But at the same time, it could also make you like, damn, maybe I do have to do this. But as long as I stay being myself and I don't get emotional like this too much, I won't have to see, the, you know, shittier parts of my life, you know. And I know it's there, but I can still, have friends, get out of this shitty situation. Sometimes people might, dwell in that though. When they're really negative, they can dwell in it and be like lazy and fucking, not be motivated, like truly, like just be there and like in that, and like, God damn, I'm just like I can't get out of it, and have like that kind of attitude when they're emotional, you know. So these people have to have good people around them, people who love them around them and want to see them not in their emotions all the time. Somebody like me, would be like, hey, why are you trying to act like me? I thought you were more this way or that way. I'm actually like that, because I am a Taurus sun, so I do more drier moves or or more, central acts, more not always in your face type of things when I'm not like online and shit. But be cool around the corner too. Take care of yourself. Love yourself more too. That's Taurus moon. So be cool around the corner.